Hey Epiphany, good morning. Happy Thursday, nice to see you today. We're in the Gospel of John. Yesterday I talked a little bit about the blame game and always having a reason for not doing the thing that you actually have the power to do. We see that with the blind man there at the pool of Bethzatha. Now I want to say something about that pool. Because those of you that have traveled with me to Israel, and there are many in our parish, 112 or 15 or some big number like that. And sadly, this year we had to cancel our trip. The coronavirus set upon us, and it made that trip untenable, if actually impossible. But when we go, we always go to the pools, the healing pools of Bethzatha, because, to go there for sure. And there's ruins, and you can see exactly how the porticos are laid out in the deep pools in which people go. I think it's important to note that these pools aren't shallow. These pools are like, if you're a sinker, you can sink right to the bottom, and they're pretty deep. And so you can see the insecurity of being paralyzed or blind or crippled in some capacity and getting to the edge of that thing and falling in, and you're a goner if you don't have someone there to hold you in that water to soak it up. And so what that points to is that this place of healing was also a place of deep relationship. Where communities had to come together to care for one another, to believe together in the healing possibility of the water, and then to hold somebody as they go in the water. And it's interesting how belief works. Right next to the pools are a beautiful Norman 10th century cathedral. It's small, and you go in, and there's not much in there, but it has a perfect acoustic. So a couple of trips ago, we went in there, and we always sing, right? We always take a song, and you sing, and you sort of stand up in the center, and everyone does it. It's a tradition, so you hear different groups as you go in, and then you get to go in, and your group stands there in a circle, and you sing. And I don't remember what we sang last time we were there. Maybe, "It is a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be." I think that's what we sang. And we always try to pick something that's simple and people can remember. So anyway, we're in that room and we're singing, and I swear to you, I think we had one or two choir members, but the rest of us were just us, right? Just Epiphany folks. And we sounded like we were angels around the altar of God. It just moves your soul to sing, to be together and to sing like that, and to hear yourself from a kingdom perspective. So beautiful that Diane Carlisle taped our singing on the phone. And later that evening, as we were collecting, as we do when we go to Jerusalem to reflect on our day together, Diane said, "Hey, I recorded us. Let me play it back." And she played it back for us, and it sounded terrible, like pain, That's not how we sound. That's not how I remember me sounding. And so the way it works is when we meet God in our hearts, right? When we sing and praise and reach up for the glory of God, when we trust in that relationship, we are who God made us to be, which are glorious singers, right? Glorious in our worship and praise to the Lord. And then when we think about it from our own perspective, that we were the ones that made this noise, then we hear it for what it is. So there's a great little example of life in the kingdom of God, and then life oriented towards the perspective of me and how I see and think of myself in the world. And that's what we meet with this guy here at the pool of Bethzatha. We meet a guy that is self-oriented, right? He hasn't been able to reach into the kingdom glory that surrounds him, both in the water and the people that are there. And he finds himself isolated. And Jesus says, do you want to be made well? Do you want to be in relationship? Do you want to be connected with people? And then he makes some excuses. And Jesus sees the brokenness of his spirit, and something triggers Jesus' response. So Jesus says, we're not getting in the water, friend. We're going to do it a different way. Let me read on. We're in chapter 5, verse 8. And Jesus says to the man, stand up, take your mat and walk. That's not getting in the pool. That's doing something different. That's thinking outside of the box around what it means to be healed. And the man hears Jesus and trusts in him like trusting in your physician. He hears him and he believes that he is believed in. He believes that he is trusted by this man, Jesus. And he takes that mat and he gets up and he begins to walk. Right? It's the beauty of a trusting relationship. Right? And it's the beauty of living that relationship in the kingdom of God. I know that you have a lot of relationships like that. And so what I invite you to do today is look at those relationships and then assess them in your singing beauty. Not how you see the singing beauty, but how God calls you to sing together with his friend in the kingdom of God. Have a good day. I love you. I pray for you. You're in my heart. Peace upon your soul.